For the Panthers versus the Eagles, it's going to be interesting. You're probably going to see Christian McCaffrey show up the way he did in some games last season. I would expect him to be all over the place in this one. The Eagles' defense hasn't been as good as it was last year. I know mostly because I own them on my team. But, yeah, I would expect more of the same. They've not been in any way consistent, even within a single game. So I would say Christian McCaffrey does extremely well. He's a good running option, he's a good receiving option, and they're not going to be able to lean just on Greg Olsen because he's still pretty fresh off of that ankle injury. Olsen, though, he's available in a lot of leagues. Pick him up. The guy is the only receiving threat that Cam Newton cares about when he's healthy. So strictly because of volume, he's a tight end 1. And he's probably going to remain that way as long as he's healthy. Cam Newton's going to do a lot better because Olsen is healthy, and there's going to be more consistency to this offense. But passes downfield are going to be inconsistent. So Funches might do well, might not do well. Same with any other wide receiver for Carolina. They're just not consistent because of how Cam plays. Cam's going to be a good play. I wouldn't expect him to get sacked a lot or picked off a lot because the Eagles' defense has been not so great this year. So I would say Cam is definitely a QB1. Christian McCaffrey is a running back 1. And you're going to have Greg Olsen as a tight end 1. Now on Philly's side of the ball, they've got so many options. So many options. They're not consistently peppering targets to any one guy, but I would expect Alshon Jeffrey to do extremely well just because nobody in Carolina can match up with that man. In addition, Zach Ertz is Carson Wentz's security blanket. So he's going to get a lot of targets. Zach Ertz is a tight end 1 every single week with Carson Wentz out there. Carson Wentz is finding his game. More of a QB2 this week, though. And the running back situation in Philly is so strange right now. They think they have a good running game in general, but that doesn't work for fantasy owners when you're using 2 or 3 running backs. So stay away from the Philly running backs until they make a trade for somebody like a Le'Veon Bell. Nobody over there is worth starting. Maybe a flex play from Smallwood, but that's only if you're desperate. So Carson Wentz is a go, but a QB2. Zach Ertz, tight end 1. Alshon Jeffrey is going to be wide receiver 2 to 1, kind of borderline. And again, on the opposite side of the ball, Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey and Greg Olsen should all be locks to start.